Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Gonna do a quick film review. Me and the lad, we sat and watched the Exorcist Believer last night for the first time. So here's my little review about it. I'm gonna start with the score of the film and tell you why. I'm gonna score this film 4 out of 10. Yeah, it was an extremely disappointing film. It really was. Yes, we've heard a few negative reviews about it, but we wanted to go in with our own sort of like perspective of it and see what it was like. Now, I don't normally give films a low score because I always find something in it. But this one I struggled. I struggled to find anything that I liked about it. And I think that's possibly down to it being sort of placed within the Exorcist sort of universe, where couldn't really see many connections with, apart from the return of Christine McNeil, Reagan's mother, who bizarrely becomes an exorcist in the film, which is really strange because she doesn't have any religious training or anything like that, and her exorcist fails and she ends up being blinded and looking like one of the X-Men, and it was really strange. The premise of the story is about two young girls that go off to the woods and disappear for 3 days and come back possessed by this demon, supposedly the same demon that possessed Reagan in The Exorcist. Now, as the film progresses on, you get to sort of like see little bits of the two families. You've got one family that are highly religious and go to church, and then you've got the other family, which is this black man and his daughter. And the wife dies, I think, in earlier on in the film in like an earthquake, and that he is sort of like a bit more of an atheist and doesn't believe in religion or anything. And so you've got these two sort of different kind of perspectives, if you like, from these two daughters. And it doesn't work. It just fails, it fails all the way through the film. It's cliched. It's nothing new. It brings nothing new to the table whatsoever. The two girls, they do their best as they can at being possessed girls, but where in The Exorcist, when Reagan was possessed, her sort of possessed voice, demonic voice, was believable, and it was almost like, you know, you believed it. But this, you could hear that it was computer generated, and it just didn't work. It just sounded really fake and silly. I mean, but the two girls did the best they can, and you know, for what they could do, they did pretty well. But the film fails in making some rather big mistakes in film, especially horror film. And I'll tell you what, there's two major ones. First one, you can tell that the characters are reading from a script, because when you're hearing the script, it's so lackluster. There's no compassion or emotion in their face or expressions, or when they're talking it, it's just all explained out. They're reading it almost from like a cue card, and it almost comes across like that. And that's a big mistake because it lacks any sort of terror or passion in their voices. And the second mistake, which is the biggest mistake, is the film explains to you about 4 or 5 times throughout the film what the film's about. Every character explains, oh yeah, the girls are possessed by a demon, and all that. It explains to you. It tells you what's happening, but you can see what's happening, because it kind of makes you feel like, do you think we're stupid that we can't see what's happening, that you feel the need to explain to us all the time what's going on? And that comes about 4 or 5 times. Even the very last scene of the film, when it's all over and the woman's talking, she's explaining to you what's happened we know we've seen it, and it's a big mistake, and it was just really poor. The characters showed no emotion. They just played it out, and I just feel that's just a way. It's not even a good popcorn fun movie, you know. Well, I thought to myself, yeah, this is going to not be good, but let's go in for like a popcorn fun horror movie. Didn't even get that from it. If you want a good possession sort of popcorn fun movie, go and look at Deliver Us from Evil, which is fantastic, or even The Right with Anthony Hopkins is just a fun movie. Even The Pope's Exorcist, which was awful, was better than this. Check them out. Avoid this one. It's really not, and it's really not a part of the it's really not a part of the Exorcist sort of story. I think the guy's trying to make a trilogy, a bit like the Halloween 2018 trilogy that came out. He's trying to connect it to the original, but it just doesn't work because the story is lackluster and the characters are unbelievable. So I would avoid it, to be honest. It's not a really good film, and 4 out of 10 I still think is a really high score for what it deserved. The lad, he quite enjoyed it. He said, actually, Dad, I got something out of it. I quite enjoyed it. It was just fun. I just took away from it something. And he said, I'll give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. So he got something out of it. It's fantastic. So if you do get something out of it, that's really cool. Myself, as a horror fan and as a big Exorcist fan, I got absolutely nothing out of it and was extremely disappointed from it. See you soon, guys.